Kathy emailed me yesterday. I thought she said I had 50 minutes, not 5. No, I'm kidding. Over this past summer, we just moved into our new home in Spokane Valley, and I am not even kidding you, one of the biggest nuisances of our entire lives lived on the other side of our fence. Oh, women. It was a test of my Christianity and my patience and my resolve, because our neighbor's dog drove me nuts. It was beyond obnoxious. My boys would go out and play catch, they'd kick the soccer ball, and Kona would come rearing at the fence. And, ah! I mean, just out of control. I'm like, my boys weren't even taunting her. They weren't even, like, picking on her. And my boys couldn't even kick the soccer ball without her lunging. Like, she was going to rip the fence apart, jump over, and tackle them. And it became annoying. The neighbors weren't really home very often, so we couldn't really ever talk to them about it. And on one particular day, I'd gone out putting recycled stuff in the recycler, mind you. And Kona, once again, comes charging up to the fence and is just ready to rip my head off. And I'm just like, oh, man. All I could think of was target practice with my son's 243, or lacing a steak with some strychnine and tossing it over. You see the more vindictive side to me. But all I could think of was this dog. I'm like, this stupid dog needs a bark collar, for goodness sake. Come on, go down to the pet store and grab a bark collar. And right in that moment, you know how the Holy Spirit does. He says, you know, Hester, sometimes I think you need a bark collar. Not that I bark like a dog, but there are times when the words that come out of my mouth are harsh and critical and unkind. I'm impatient, and I need to tighten that rein. Do you know what a bark collar is? Have you seen how it works on an animal, where if an animal starts to go, yeah, and it starts to, it like constricts their vocal cords so that they don't bark. That's the whole purpose of a bark collar. And, I mean, can you imagine? I think we could really get a market for this. Go with me. How about this? I've told you 1,000 times. Or, I'm in here in the kitchen slaving away, and you're in here watching football. Or, I cannot believe what she did. I'm sure that each of us can relate to needing a bark collar this morning. I know that I am guilty myself and will readily confess that I often have a foot-shaped mouth. The tongue. Our tongue is a powerful tool, a powerful part of our body. It's a muscle to communicate with, yet a muscle that can create havoc when it's not controlled. It's an instrument with the ability to deliver truth and encouragement and blessings, and an instrument used to distribute slander, discouragement, and anger. It's a tool for benevolence, love, edification, and a tool for criticism, crudeness, and even meddling. A device that can produce gratitude and grace and respect, and a device that can produce discontent, embellishment, and judgment. See, the tongue is powerful, and I know that I've exercised both sides of the continuum on the examples I've just shared with you just 2 days ago. I had to humble myself again. This is a common thing for me. I've had to go and confess to my youngest son. He irritated me, he ticked me off. And in my rash harshness, I was critical, and in that moment I felt justified because I was mad. And then I had to go to him and apologize and ask for his forgiveness because I knew I had responded to him in the wrong way. It's interesting, ladies, because I think that when we study the book of James, there's so many scriptures about our tongue, but James chapter 3 specifically talks about the power of our tongue, how it's like a rudder on a ship that can control such a large vessel. Or it's a spark, something so small that can put a whole forest fire ablaze. And Matthew tells us, when Jesus says in Matthew 12:34, he says, the words, out of the overflow of our heart, our mouth speaks. So what is in us comes out of us. So what we put into us will come out of us. It will be what spills out of our mouth. So we need to be intent to fill ourselves with the good things. And we have to do this intentionally. It's sometimes also a matter of struggling with the flesh and the spirit, where we are sowing to the Spirit of God and resisting the flesh, regardless of how tired we may be, or how busy we are, or how frustrated we can get. To exercise that rein, to exercise our bark collar. See, we may not have a spiritual bark collar. We may not have a physical bark collar, but we have a spiritual bark collar in the Holy Spirit. See, the Holy Spirit convicts us and can lead us. For example, how about this? Tell it like it is, sister. This is what the flesh would say. But the Spirit says, don't open your mouth. But what you're about to say is unkind and not necessary. Or the flesh might say, oh, I just want to give her a piece of my mind. And the Spirit says, let me give you a piece of my mind, the mind of Christ. Ladies, I just want to encourage you this morning to be aware of the power of your tongue and to strive to sow to the Spirit, to fill yourself up with good things so that the overflow of your mouth will show the true reflection of who you are, because what comes out of us is what's in us. And if you think that you don't have tongue trouble, think again.